Hello, I'm Alistair McIntyre of Electric Scotland. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to the site and hope you find it interesting. Essentially, I started the site back in, basically the end of the last century, you might say, which sounds very old. But I was sitting in Scotland trying to decide what to do with a website, and I thought History of Scotland would be just a great thing to do. One, because I love history, and two, because I got very little Scottish history at school in Scotland. So I thought to myself, well, this is a chance for me to explore the history of Scotland, and as I learn things and get information, I'll add it to the site, and hopefully lots and lots of people around the world will learn along with me. And so that's basically what I did. The very first publication that actually ever went up on Electric Scotland was when I went to James Thynne in Edinburgh, the booksellers, and said to them, told them basically what I was trying to do. And I said, I need an out of copyright book about the history of Scotland to get things rolling. And the better the history, the better I'd like it. So they said, yep, right, we'll take on the challenge. And about 6 weeks later, they phoned me up, say, right, we've got something for you. Do you want to come and see it? I said, I'll be right there. So I drove over to Edinburgh to their shop. And there they had a 6-volume set, which was the history of the Highlands, the Highland clans and the Highland regiments. And as I picked up the various volumes and had a wee read at it, I was struck with the fact that it was extremely readable. A lot of history can be very dry and quite boring, but this was good, this was exciting, it was interesting, and I said, right, you got a deal. And I bought the set, and when I went back home, I started to subscribe or basically post that whole 6 volumes up on the site, and it's still there today. Since then, of course, we've greatly expanded the site, and we now have, I think, over 200,000 web pages, and a lot of those pages will be an entire chapter of a book, so it gives you some idea of the content. In fact, not long ago, I sat down with a genealogist who had said that he knew of the site, liked it, thought it was great, and was thinking about advertising with us. So we had lunch, and then after lunch I sat down to introduce him to the site. And I found actually it took me 2 hours to just do an introduction. And he kept saying, I didn't know you had that. I didn't know you had that. Good, that's a fabulous result. Why didn't I know that you had that? And I have to confess that I was somewhat bemused, because I said, I thought you said you knew the site. He said, well, I thought I did, but I didn't realise you had just so much on it. So since then, we started to put up a site search engine. In fact, in the next few weeks, we will have our own site search engine. We have been using like Google and Microsoft's Live Search as a kind of site search engine. But we have found that they don't index all of our pages, so there's probably a ton of material on the site which you just don't know is there. And because it's so large, it's hard to browse through everything. So we try and pay attention to the navigational structure of the site, but clearly now the best way to find information is to use the site search engine. And of course all of the results that come up will really be to do with Scotland, because that's what we're about, is Scottish history. Added to all the huge amounts of history that we put up, we've also got a very good children's section. I mean, there are some nice wee games to play, which can be a lot of fun. In fact, one of the most popular ones is Dress the Chief, where you take you get about 3 different background scenes, and you bring the chief in. You can give him different heads, different types of tartan kilts, and you can hold a bag of golf clubs, or you can hold a sword, or a shield, or whatever. So a lot of fun, basically, that. But with all the children's stories, I mean, one in particular, for example, for young children, is that Margot Fallis in Atlanta in Georgia, who's actually a Scot but is now an American citizen, she wrote me a series about 2 butterflies fluttering around Scotland. And as she's an old school teacher, she knows exactly how to turn a story to keep the attention of the wee ones. In other words, it can't be too heavy or detailed, but basically every time that they flutter to a new place in Scotland, I think his long-suffering girlfriend says, well, I suppose you've got a story about this place then. And of course she's always saying, well, as it happens, I have. And then he relates a wee story about that area of Scotland. So by the time you read through all the chapters of that, you've got a nice wee history lesson. So, where are we going with the site today? I mean, we are the #1 Scottish site. We've got a huge amount of content. But, you know, we need to move forwards and do new things. And one of the things we've decided on is to reintroduce a forum system where people can message with each other. But we are trying to do this in a kind of big way because we've made a commitment that this will be a long-term project for us. So at the moment we've got the forums in, and when you join up as a member of the forums, there's actually 300 arcade games that you can play in there. We've got a radio and TV section where you can listen to Scottish radio or television. We've got a photo album where you can put up a number of albums and either make them public or private. We are actually adding more functionality over the next few weeks and months for that matter. But certainly the idea is to make it a very powerful place where you can actually make your home on the web. And we've already got some groups with maybe, I think one group recently came to us, they've got 400 members worldwide, and they're interested in making their new home on Electric Scotland. So we hope over the months ahead that we will build this to be a really good community for the Scots diaspora worldwide. And I might add that for those in Scotland, that we have in fact got big sections on the site all about Scots in the world. For example, we've got a 4-volume set of the Scot in North British America, which of course is Canada, and explains all the things that Scots got up to there. In addition to that, we've got a lot of publications on Scots in like Germany, France, Spain, Argentina, Australia, New Zealand, and so on it goes. And we're always looking for more information on what Scots got up to around the world. So essentially, there you have Electric Scotland, and I hope you'll explore all our pages, be they for music, old books, even learning more about our wildlife and sports and stuff of that nature. In fact, we got a bunch of emails in from kids in the USA that were asking if we could put something up about wildlife in Scotland. And because of that, we now have 3 complete books up about wildlife in Scotland. But apparently it was part of their curriculum to study wildlife in various countries of the world, and quite a lot of them wanted to do it on Scotland. And as we then didn't have anything up on the site, they were emailing us. So we do respond to requests, be they from the little ones or the older ones. So there you have it, electricscotland.com. I hope you'll visit, I hope you'll enjoy our new community and all the various services that we offer. Nice talking to you, and look forward to hearing from you on the web.